They laughed when I asked to call my dad. They weren't laughing 45 minutes later. I had a problem where I got migraines. I'd finally gotten a prescription, non-narcotic, perfectly legal. I took it straight to the nurse because even having Tylenol in your backpack meant expulsion for drug possession. Nurse, you'll need your doctor's signature on this form. Me, why? It's a legitimate prescription with my name on it in the original bottle. She smiled, that special smile adults save for teenagers who think they have rights. We're required to have a doctor's signature before we can dispense medications. Me, giving zero fucks. How do you think I got the prescription? Magic. The nurse made it clear she wanted to drive home, the point that I had no control in this situation, and there was literally nothing I could do but follow orders. I walked out of the office frustrated since I couldn't get to my migraine meds and naturally ended up stressing myself into getting a migraine. Maybe it sounds Karen-ish, but I really did feel like I had every right to go to the nurse's office and ask politely for my medication. The nurse obviously told me no, so I asked for the principal. Got the assistant principal AP who simply reiterated district policy. Then it occurred to me that it was within my power to get my medicine because I had a secret weapon, so I had to be sneaky. Me, I'd like to call one of my parents. This call wasn't meant for my dad, who's a financial consultant, and it wasn't for my mom either, who worked in sales and advertising. Of course, I wasn't calling Stepmonster, but my stepdad, on the other hand, just so happened to be the most well-known radio talk show host in our region at the time, and he still had 2 more hours left on the air. The AP handed me the phone book. Yeah, those were still around, and I flipped through the yellow pages to find the radio station's number without the AP catching on to whom I was actually dialing. I called the station and got the front desk. Tons of people call asking for him and get absolutely nowhere. But I knew if I told them I was his daughter Royal, they'd interrupt the show and he'd pick up. In all my life, I'd never had a reason to call him while he was working. I was kinda hoping he'd take the call live on air, but he didn't want to broadcast what was probably gonna be personal stuff, so he threw on some commercials while I laid it all out for him. Then I suppressed a shit-eating grin while handing the phone to the AP to talk to my stepdad, Bill. I managed a poker face. The AP didn't realize he was talking to Bill Jones when he dismissed my concerns and even suggested I should be denied my medication simply due to my pants, which I'd been wearing half the year without problem, but apparently were a uniform violation that day. The AP basically explained that's just how it is and tough luck and did not realize the shit he'd just stepped into. He hung up, dismissed me, and walked off, looking pretty self-satisfied at winning his little power trip. I went to class feeling victorious. I hadn't won yet, but I'd played my cards and knew how it would turn out. Stepdad got back on air and immediately changed the topic of discussion to the ridiculousness of the district's medication policy. The phone lines lit up. Turns out lots of people wanted to air their complaints. I was sitting in class, migraine kicking in, but I was feeling pretty satisfied that their total disregard for me, and every other student with less power, was finally blowing up in their faces. I kept track. Exactly 45 minutes after they smugly refused to give me my legally prescribed meds that I actually needed, the AP walked into the classroom I was in, crouched down next to my desk, and quietly said, "Hey, you want to come take your medication?" Fallout, even more fun because the school wanted desperately to expel me. But while I 100% can be a troublemaker when I want to be, I never did anything for which I could have defensibly been disciplined. They had nothing on me. I knew it. They knew I knew it. And they knew they couldn't start inventing crap out of thin air because of Bill Jones. All my friends were seniors, and the admins didn't catch on until the very last day of school that I was actually a junior. I could see the panic flash across the AP's face. AP, you can take one English course over the summer and you'll be able to graduate early. Me, absolutely not. I haven't submitted any college applications, and most of the competitive schools I'll be applying to require more than the basic minimum to graduate. I'll be here for another year. AP, would you be interested in taking your high school classes at the community college instead? You'll earn both high school and college credit. It was a barely known program back then, but they were so desperate to be done with me, I ended up stacking a full year's worth of college gen ed credits during my senior year. They tried to fuck me over, so I fucked back, and since they couldn't punish me, they rewarded me just to get me to go away.